Hi, Susan. It's really good to talk with you.
Oh,
Everybody, this is Susan. She is a Palestinian American who lives in Baltimore. She's a professor, speaker, and author. Her two really renowned book series, one is The Curious Land, Stories from Home, which was published in 2014, and
mhm,
another is The Inheritance of Exile,
mhm.
published in 2007. And these are both award-winning, acclaimed books that you've written.
Thank you.
Um, and in addition, recently you've started the TweetYourThobe hashtag campaign that went viral. So, as an introduction, you started this at the beginning of January, before the inauguration of the 116th Congress. And you did this because Rashida Tlaib announced that she would wear the Palestinian thobe, which is the
Yes,
traditional dress with
yes.
Palestinian embroidery, which
Mhm.
is just a beautiful kind of display that she got to do. And you wanted to highlight that and
Yes.
make it a movement. And so you invited women across social media to share their Palestinian thobes from their
Mhm.
grandmothers and from their friend, that they bought in Palestine. And they posted, thousands of women posted across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter,
Mhm.
sharing their thobes and their stories of the thobes. And this
Mhm.
was featured across NPR, Huffington Post, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and CNN.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. It
what a
was great.
movement!
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was
I actually started the movement in mid-December as soon as Rashida announced that she was going to wear her dress.
okay.
Well, the backlash she got was immediate. And so in mid-December, I started organizing to
Wow.
get people to prepare themselves to kind of tweet on that day. So, and I had several people who were, I call them my co-pilots,
Mm.
who were ready and waiting to retweet and repost everything. So um so on January 3rd we were ready, and it I'm so excited at how well it did.
Wow. Well, yeah. So tell us more about how you came up with this idea.
Well, there's always such a disconnect in terms of Palestinian Americans' experiences and how we are perceived in this country. So when Rashida said she was going to wear that dress, I mean, I don't know Rashida. I live in Maryland, not Michigan. I wasn't following her campaign that closely, but I was excited that there was going to be a Palestinian American woman in Congress. And
Mm.
when she decided to wear that dress, which her mother made for her,
Mm.
I thought it was great. But of course, people started calling it un-American and started to imply that she was representing Palestine and not America.
Mm.
So it's basically a question about her loyalties, which all over a dress. I was kind of like, we're talking about a dress, everybody. Everybody needs to calm down. So I wanted to normalize the idea that, we all wear these dresses. We all Palestinian American women have these dresses, and we wear them to important occasions. So it would be kind of fun to celebrate with her. And as she's wearing hers, we are doing like a fashion show online with our dresses. And it's a nice way to display our culture, to our American friends. Palestinian Americans, we've been on the defense for a long time. We're always defending our experiences, our culture.
Mm.
And so I felt like this was an offensive move, in a sense, like that we were going on the offense to kind of take back the narrative about who
Mm.
we are and what we're about.
Yeah, it was preemptive, but it seems to have been really effective and really moved a lot of people and brought a really beautiful story into the light. So that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, it was great. It was really nice to see women who posted pictures of dresses that their grandmothers or great grandmothers had made. And, there were a lot of people who posted pictures of their mothers and grandmothers who are now deceased, but, in the pictures they're wearing those dresses. And it was sort of like the postings were a sort of testament to those women and how important they were in their lives. That was really moving for me to see that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the most surprising thing that came out of the campaign? Is that one of them, or is there something that you just didn't anticipate?
Well, I was so thrilled at how many non-Palestinian Americans participated. There were a lot of people who said, I was given this shawl, this embroidered shawl, as a gift from a friend, or people who had traveled to Palestine and had bought some to trees or embroidered items were posting.
Mm.
And that made it a very American experience, that so many people were coming together around this form of artwork. And many people compared Palestinian thobes to Scottish tartans, to quilts, to other kinds of textiles and family items that tell a story. Tell a story about a family or about the village where someone is from. So that was really nice to see those connections being made.
Wow,
It was
that's
terrific.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow. And so do you, in this campaign and just in general, do you see the narrative around Palestine and Palestinians with these recent events and developments shifting? What do you think?
I think they are shifting. I've told people that, for example, I'm in my early 40s, and I remember distinctly in college being told by a professor who was teaching a Middle Eastern survey class, a history survey class. He specifically told me that there's no such thing as Palestinians. I will never forget that moment. And I remember growing up that even to say the word Palestine was interpreted by people as a kind of political challenge, or to say that you are Palestinian American invited people to debate with you about the politics of Israel and Palestine. So those things still exist, okay? But I feel like younger people today can comfortably say I'm Palestinian American and not be challenged immediately on whether or not they exist as a people and as an ethnic group. So things are changing slowly, but they are getting better.
That's incredible. And I think it's really great that what you've done has been a part of that, and that you can kind of trace it and see it the way that the public is interacting with what you've done in this campaign.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
So you also, last time we spoke, you shared a little bit about some developments that have come out of the Tweet Your Thobe campaign. Can you share more about that?
Sure. So we are potentially putting together a book. We want to try to commemorate the moment in a book form. We want to put together some of the pictures, some of the more memorable pictures that were taken, and assemble them. And we have some people who are willing to write stories about the dresses that they posted. We also have people who are specialists into trees who are willing to sort of explain the symbolism and the artwork behind the dresses. So we're working on that. And we're also working on making this an annual event. So we'd like to once a year have a holiday or a celebration that we invite people to share pictures of their Palestinian artwork and other elements of Palestinian culture. So people will be sharing these things online, social media, as well as having local events like poetry readings, musical festivals, fashion shows, that sort of thing.
Wow. So to share a little bit about, you know about us, about the museum, but for our listeners, everything that you're doing, we love so much, which is why we want to feature you today as our Women Crush Wednesday.
Oh, thank you.
Because this is what the museum in DC, what our heart is, to tell the stories of Palestinians through diverse mediums, of Palestinians from diverse backgrounds, from different parts of the diaspora, of different religions, from different generations. That's the heart, because Palestinians are not just one thing, it's a diverse experience, and there's a vast culture and history to share with people, to really change this narrative and help people to see Palestinians for who they really are, and humanize them, and give them a voice, especially here in DC. So we are so in support, and we're excited to be in continued collaboration with what you're doing, to tell in this space that we're going to be opening in coming months, through art and through music and storytelling and through history, the story of Palestinians.
I can't wait till you guys open your doors. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Well, and beyond the Tweet Your Thobe campaign, you have a couple projects coming up as a writer that will continue to contribute to reshaping the Palestinian narrative. So can you share more about that, and what do you expect?
Yeah, sure. So I am currently writing a children's chapter book series. I've written novels for adults, but this is my first foray into children's literature. So I'm learning a lot, but I'm also really enjoying myself. I have a contract with Capstone Books, which is a wonderful children's publisher, and they have a wide array of diverse books for children. I'm working on a chapter book series starring a Palestinian American girl. Her name is Farah Hajar. And the book series is called Farah Rocks or Farah Rocks. And I'm excited because it's the first chapter book series starring a Palestinian American girl. And it's a book series intended for readers between like 3rd and 5th grade. So it's one of the earlier chapter books. It'll be lightly illustrated throughout the book. And Farah is a girl who has a lot of adventures. She's super smart. She's super brave. Sometimes her honesty gets her into trouble, but she's really funny and really sweet. And I'm glad to be doing this project because growing up in this country, I love to read. I was a big reader, but I never saw myself in the books that I was reading. I never saw characters who had my experiences or who had shared elements of my culture. So kids need that. Kids need to see themselves represented in the books that they read. And also other children need to see characters whose lives are different from their own in the books that they read. So children's literature is so important to continuing to have a wonderful conversation about diversity in this country. When kids can be exposed to other people's lives in the books that they read, that is the impact that has is tremendous. So I'm glad to be part of that in my own small way. The first Farah Rocks book will be out in January 2020. And then we'll have a new book every few months after that.
Sounds excellent. We can't wait to read it and feature it too.
Oh, thank you. That'll be great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, this has been an incredible interview. We're really thankful to interface with you and share this story with the rest of the world, and continue amplifying it and continuing the work that you've begun and that we're doing, partnering alongside you with being a space where we can amplify Palestinian voices for the world to hear.
Thanks for having me. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Great. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.